Hey Slips, welcome back to another free show, I guess. So today I'm going to be interviewing captains from both Dynamic and MMG Esports. First up, I'm here with Ray, captain of Dynamic.
Hey, what's up?
And so thanks for coming onto the show today, Ray. So,
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with an easy question. What do you think of the league so far, Ray?
It's very interesting. Last year I was in a league or a tournament, not too sure which one of the two, but I enjoyed it. But this is much more interesting and much more in depth into it, and not in depth, but more into it. Let's say that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the players in the league are very involved in it's like my team, Heatwave, has been very, it's been very interesting, getting new players. Do you have new players on your team that you haven't met before, and you learning how to navigate?
I mean, my whole team is new.
Oh, really?
I mean, I had a team last year, and then the ownership was transferred to another player, and so I ended up going from captain to sub, and then that team disbanded. It was Dynamic, but it was just my old team basically, and so I was like, I'm gonna restart it, and so I restarted it. Got some friends who I already play Rocket League with, and had to find some new players. Billy and Camo on my team, my two mains, are people who I actually play with on a regular, so those are easy to find. A couple, there's two new ones on there, Comdog and Maglin. He's a new person I met in casuals, so it was very hard searching for those players to see who would work with my team, who would work with me, who would be a good match. And so, yeah, everyone on my team is basically new except for the main players.
And do you think you guys have had a good time? You have good player chemistry,
Yeah.
So far? That's good.
Our chemistry and playing with each other and with just chemistry in general is pretty good. Got the trash talking to each other occasionally here and there. But overall, it's good chemistry. Better than I hoped, actually.
That's great to hear. So who do you say is the best player / MVP on your team?
Honestly, that has to go... I have more than one in the sense, it's for different skills. Comdog, he's better in skills-wise. Overall, he's just a better player in skills. But we all basically main twos. The only person that mains threes is Maglin. So in overall team playing a team player and overall pretty good in general with any mashup would be Mag. So it's honestly a hard pick to choose my top MVP player, but they all have their individual skills that shine through the team when we play.
That makes sense. And then you guys can all show your strengths while you're playing. So
yeah,
it all works.
Indeed.
So you said that you haven't had any experience playing against MMG Esports thus far.
Not of my knowledge. I may have been last year if they were a team last year, but this year, no.
Okay.
Not with my current team, no.
So we just took a look at the roster. What do you think of it? And how do you think it compares to the rest of the league?
It's higher rankings, but honestly, me personally, I don't really give a crap about ranks. They could have high ranks, they could have low ranks. It doesn't really matter because ranks are ranks. You could have a bad day and it'll bring it down, and then even though you're really good. I've had that happen to me in two so many times where I'm just really good and I have a bad mood, bad day or whatever, and it brings me down 2 ranks. Or sometimes I'm on fire one day when I'm usually not that good, and I'll go up 2 ranks or 1 rank. So just because they, as I am looking here, they have 2 champs and some diamonds. So their team looks more on the power side on MMR, but it doesn't really frighten me in a sense, or it doesn't worry me or frighten me because they could have had a bad day, good day, it doesn't really matter. what happens is true actions on the field, not on paper, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up, because like some people might not be playing ranked as much as other people's, but could still be really skilled.
Yeah, that.
So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so another question I have is, if you could make a dream team with players from both your team and MMG, how many of yours would get in versus theirs? What do you say?
This answer isn't only because I don't know their team. It's just because of the fact that myself, personally, I prefer to play with people who I know. I don't really care about, I play randoms and duos and like other playlists in Rocket League, but like that's not what I mean. If I'm gonna do like an actual team where I'm gonna be playing multiple matches with people and I want to like go far with my team, I'd rather it be with people who I like talk to and enjoy talking to than random people who are good at the game or that I've like never talked to. Like I'd rather it be consisting of my team right now. So if I had to choose a dream team, I'm already having my dream team, honestly. Like I wouldn't really switch anybody out or take anyone out or replace anybody, because everyone who I am currently in a team with, I have good chemistry with and I have fun with playing with. So for me, I put fun over like skills and all that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good answer. I feel like that's a lot different than what a lot of other teams would say.
Because you can have skill, but you can also just not have a good chemistry with that person. Or even if you do have a good chemistry with them, it's still like, if they're skilled where they're higher than you, like way higher than you, you're going to feel like you're holding them back anyway. So like, why not just stick with your team and like stick at a level where you're good?
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's a good take on the like usual, like just wanting to build like the most efficient team.
Yeah.
But if you did have to focus just on skill, what would you say, like based on how the players play the game?
The thing is, for me, was the amount of no, it wouldn't make a difference, honestly. Like they can have higher MMR, they could be grand champs. I really wouldn't give a shit. Your team will have a higher skill if your chemistry with each other is better. And that only really happens when your team has good chemistry in general, just not like playing with each other, but just relationship wise and out of gameplay. So like if I had to choose it on skill base wise, since I have so much like training, or not so much training, but more time with my team, we have more passing plays. We know how each other play. We know what we would do if we know what our teammates would do when we're playing. So we know what passing plays to do. We know what aerials to pop up for like someone to air dribble. Like skill wise, we can only go up if we practice, not switch out teams. Mates.
I feel that. Yeah, so that really definitely shows like you're very confident in your team's dynamic. Name of the team also. Based on what you know, what do you think would be the final score of your matchup this week?
That's difficult to answer, honestly. I don't know about the score itself, but I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, we're all both in D1, so that means something. Like, we're good enough to be in Div 1, so... Or not Div 1, but, yeah, Division 1, whatever. Same difference. We're good enough to be in Div 1, so... that means we hold a candle to them, and they hold a candle to us. So, I don't know how the score is going to play out. Don't know if we're going to have a good day, bad day. Either one of us. Maybe we're not warmed up. Whatever the case is, don't really know. But all I know is that it's going to be a good game, and I can't count either of our teams out.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you're not too overconfident, but you definitely have like a good faith in your team. Nice.
I try to not be cocky. Definitely leads to losses.
Gonna jinx it.
I know.
Where do you think that your opponents will finish their time in the league? Like, do you think they'll make it more closer to the end?
Well, I'm pretty sure they were one of the top teams of last league, right? Am I correct on that statement?
I believe so.
Yeah, so based on that, I feel like they're gonna land pretty high. But hey, we got some new teams. I'm a new team, so we'll see if we take it before they do.
For sure. Gotta root for your own team.
Yeah, Yeah.
What words of advice would you have for your opponents before the matchup?
Advice. Okay. I guess most of our team is pretty good with aerials, so I guess watch the skies. I don't know. Not much. Not much else I could say.
That's fair. Let's just see if they can take that advice if they're watching this before the matchup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good luck to your team for this match. Yeah, thanks for coming to this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, I'm back again for the second part of the interview. I'm here with a player of MMG Esports. Most of you know her, Luna.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm peachy.
That's great.
That was so awkward.
Peachy. Okay. So we're going to be interviewing you about your upcoming matchup against Dynamic. How are you feeling about the...
Let me ask you a question. Do you really need to interview me, or is it just going to be like, it's kind of just going to be, one-sided? It's already, you already know what you need to know.
What do I need to know, Luna?
It doesn't matter what the score says. We're beating them on, no matter what. It doesn't matter what Dynamic does. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how many times they practice. My team's better, and they always will be better.
Wow. I love the confidence coming from you today. So let's turn the focus a little bit more to your team. We are going to get a little into this interview about your team. Who do you say is the MVP of MVP?
Very definitely. He's a really amazing player, great in ones, great in twos, but just lacking in threes. So we've been working with him to try to get his threes game up.
Nice. So why would you say that Barry is the MVP?
He's just overall really good with passing to the middle and, getting passes from incredible angles, amazing shots, and just getting dunks on top of people. And he's also our freestyler of the team.
Do you think he would play a big part in taking the win?
Oh, definitely. He's one of my favorite players to play with on the team. Besides the owner, and I'm not saying that for legal reasons. However, he's one of my favorite players to play with.
What do you think of the league in general so far?
I mean, it's kind of one-sided at this point. You got my team up there. That's pretty much it. It's my team.
Your team who you believe is going to the end?
Don't even worry about the other teams. Just my team. Look, Focus on MMG, okay? We're going to sweep this entire competition, and we're going to take this win. Simple.
Okay. So, if you do win, what do you think
No, Shay. There is no if.
Win?
It is when.
What would you do with the $100 prize, your team?
Well, actually, and I've actually been talking about this for a while. There's a friend of mine who has some issues trying to get, her living situation underway, but I was going to use whatever little bit I got from the prize, because I was going to give it mostly to the team so they could start, making merch and stuff. But I was going to use whatever I got to go and, give it to someone who actually needs it. There's a lot of people out there who aren't as fortunate as us to get the chance to play, and all those teams need a refresher. So I would probably hold maybe a smaller tournament for the lower players.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Hey,
well, what'd you expect me to say? Blow it on fucking Xbox?
The $20.
All of $20 to spend on Xbox. Yeah, it'll give me what? Maybe 1,000 credits? Maybe 2,400 credits?
Maybe.
No, I'm not going to waste my time buying Xbox stuff. I'll give it to people who need it.
So do you have any experience playing against Dynamic?
I do not. However, I do have conversations with other teams, and, they play Dynamic, and they told me that they play pretty sloppily.
Dang.
So I'm pretty accurate in that we can just counter their mistakes pretty easily.
So, what do you think of their roster, and how do you think it compares to the rest of the league?
Now, would you like me to be full-on toxic, or just completely calm down a bit?
I think be honest, but also give some insight on what you think in comparison to the other teams. So, do you think they even have a chance? How far do you think that they're going to get in the league compared to the other teams?
I don't think they're going to get far. I'll be completely honest. That team is completely dog water.
Is that just compared to you, or is that compared?
Oh no, that's compared to the rest of the teams. I'm pretty sure even the lower division could beat them.
So you think the roster is
a joke? Yes.
A joke. I see. So if you had to make a dream team of your players from both teams, you think how many of yours?
I'm not grabbing any dynamic players. They're all dog water.
If you had to pick one, do you think there's one that like would stand out to you over the rest?
I don't know. Ray's got like managerial. You know, he's got his team under control. But you know, if you're gonna put together a team, at least give us a challenge. So I guess I'd take Ray. I guess I'd settle for Ray.
Do you think Ray is like going to be carrying his team like to any of his matches?
I'd like to think that the captain's the best player, but who am I kidding? I'm the best player on the team. So like. And I'm not a captain, so I think definitely Ray is going to be the one I'm going to definitely watch for, though.
Okay, he's the one to look out for.
Definitely one to watch.
I see.
So, nope.
So for your matchup, like that's coming up, what do you think the final score will end up being?
I think it's going to be. I'll be completely honest with you. I think genuinely it's going to be a 3-1, but I'd like to take the sweep. I'd like to go 3-0. But I'd like to completely demolish this team.
So do you think it will be like an easy sweep, or do you think maybe they'll like put up a bit of a fight and like?
I don't know. From what I've heard, the team is unpredictable. So.
Okay.
Although I will promise you one thing: MMG's coming out on top, whether we have to play dirty or play smart.
Okay. Do you think that Dynamic has good team chemistry? Like from what you've heard? No?
No.
Okay. Do you think team chemistry is important when playing in the game?
Oh, most definitely. You know, you got to know around the field. You know, you got to know where the boost is. You got to know how to rotate. You don't rotate ball side. You have to rotate outside. You don't want to rotate towards the ball because then you're going to give your teammate a really shitty position. So team comp is everything in this game. You can practice freestyles, aerials, double taps, musty flicks, whatever the hell you want to practice. But when it all comes down to it and it's big leagues, they're not going to help you. They might help you 1 or 2 times, but team chemistry is your key.
Yeah, that is well said. If you could give advice to your opponent before starting the matchup, I think you would say to them?
I suggest practicing for the next 12 hours. Well, by
the time they see this, they won't have 12 hours, so.
Oh, when will they see this? Oh, like 30 minutes? Perfect. Try to just get with your team for the next, however long until your demise is. Maybe you'll have a chance.
Okay. We'll see if they will take your advice to heart. Well, thank you so much for coming to this interview, Luna. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I hope you all enjoyed the league recap and the interviews as provided by K7 and Shay. A big thanks to them for making all of that possible. Now, if you want to catch even more exciting league action, then I encourage you all to tune in to Slips League Championship on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Slips League Championship every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time in order to catch our featured league match. That is 1 match per week and every team gets a chance. So this is your opportunity to see what each and every one of these teams are made of in a league setting. It's the best way for them to get accustomed to playing to large audiences whilst having to perform at the top of their game. CTHPC. Last week's match, for example, had 52 viewers cheering the teams on. That was straight up amazing as far as I'm concerned. K7 mentioned the 52 viewer count earlier on, as you are no doubt aware. And that's just the beginning, folks. The more people tune into the show, the bigger it will get. So I encourage you all to join in on the fun every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see this league, this show, Slips in general, grow. Speaking of awesomeness in general, let's talk about the match that's coming up very soon. And it's going to be Dynamic versus MMG Esports. Now, as we saw in the interview involving Luna of MMG, the small bean herself has thrown out the gauntlet to Dynamic. She sees them as, and I'm not kidding here, dog water. Yeah, Dynamic is considered a bad team to Luna, Will Dynamic prove Little Luna wrong by beating MMG Esports, her team? Will they make her feel like a very silly girl for all her pre-match trash talking? Find out in the upcoming matchup, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Slips League Championship on Twitch. Saturday, by the way. On that note, thank you very much for watching this wonderful show. I am GJ, and I'll be seeing you again very soon.